why I be fucking for money.
Why?
Because ain't no fucking love out here. Not none. Trick on me, bitch. Give me the moolah.
Now I'm gonna post it.
I don't give a fuck. Post it. Tag a couple references. You motherfuckers, you know who got it. Because I got the pussy for the money. If you got the money for the pussy.
Bird!
What? Welcome to the show with DeMarco and Kayla. Deep dive into life twist, see you later. We got questions, got thoughts, no hesitation. Why we like this now is your destination. Pop culture, trends to daily grind hustle. Breaking it down, talking truth, no muzzle. You feel lost, sometimes we gonna navigate. Letting you know it's never too late. Why are we like this now? Gonna figure it out with a pow, pow, pow. DeMarco and Kayla taking the bow. Join us on the journey, we'll show you how.
I swear, like the conversation before the show starts is always better than the actual conversation. You ready? I'm ready too. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Marco, aka Del Marco. This is the Why We Like This Now podcast. This is my lovely co-host Kayla. Kayla, how was your weekend?
Wow. Well, at first it was boring, so I thought I was gonna stay boring, and then it got interesting because I went out and I drank a little too much, and I don't usually drink a lot, or lately I haven't really been drinking at all. But yeah, I went out and drank a lot, and did some things that I'm not proud of.
Well, that sounds like fun. I mean, I don't drink. I only drink whenever we're doing like. This is not coffee, but I can't make no bad decisions here by myself.
I know. No, I mean, like, I don't think they were like bad decisions. It's more just like one of those things where you're just like, was I supposed to do that? Like, is it too early on? Like, because, like when you're in a relationship, like, where is it like where you're like thinking like, is this cheating or is this like okay? Or, like if you start a relationship or kind of start a relationship or you're not really sure if it's a situationship or a delusionship or whatever the fuck you're in right now.
That's the one thing about getting older. Like, you have all these ships. Like, you're on a motherfucker. Like, you're Christopher Columbus coming over and shit. The fucking this ship, that ship, the Nina, the Pinta, Santa Maria. You got all these fucking ships, and you're like, what the fuck? Where am I at? I get what you're saying. So, like, when is it that you stop? So, like
when is it where you're serious enough where you stop, like, entertaining other things or other people?
I thought the philosophy was like, if you're not married, you're single.
I mean,
because if it was the dude doing some shit while you was you damn well would not fucking let that shit slide.
No, I feel like what the hell are you doing?
I say that's a philosophy, but it's really not. So that's what I mean. It's like, it's us being older now. It's kind of like, it's even weird to say boyfriend. Like for us to say like oh hey, yeah, I got this. Like, do you want to be my boy? Like, first of all, before you even like say when is cheating, like, how do you say like, do you want to be my girlfriend? Like, I've been single so long that I don't even know like that. Like, what do you do? Do you know what I mean? Do you just go straight into toxic, straight into fucking, you know what I'm saying, knocking on the fucking doors and shit? Like, I don't understand, like, how does it start? Like, so do you actually ask somebody to be that person?
So I made the person ask me to be his girlfriend.
You're
I
a
was
little
like,
kid and shit?
you asked me if you want it. But then we broke up so many times in the past, like, 2 months. But I don't really know where we're at.
Got it.
It's been toxic for a while.
See, and that's one of those things that, like, that toxicity makes it so interesting because you really want that person, they want you, and it kind of just like, but then again, at the same time, it's like it's almost like a game, and I hate it because it's so fun, but at the same time, it's like, why are we playing a game? Like, whenever, I don't know if you were the same, like, whenever you were a little kid, like, you thought you were going to grow up and, like, get married and have the kids, have the fucking white picket fence, and you were just going to, like, have this perfect fucking, like, wedding and family and shit, and now you're just like, we're almost 40 years old and just kind of like playing house sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's weird because like getting a divorce at this age, which is like kind of what I've been going through the past year. And then I started dating right away only because of the situation I was in with my marriage. Like it wasn't like it was over, like a long time ago. So it's like I was ready like when we separated. And I didn't want to be in another relationship. So I was kind of just like feeling it out, dating, doing different stuff. And then now I'm ready.
So now you're ready and looking and kind of like, I mean, I guess the person you're talking to is kind of like, but I get what you're saying though. And that's what I mean is that like, I've been in that, I almost feel like the last relationship that I like kind of had or was going to have, I felt like I kind of lost the person that I thought maybe would have done it because of the same kind of deal. Like, like me and her talked, but then like, I guess let's put a timeline on this. So like in like January, like we kind of talked and we messed around. And then from February to March, we weren't together. And then some shit happened in like April to where we're like talking again. And like, we're actually like really talking. We start like talking really close. Mm-hmm. But then it kind of like nothing happened. And then we don't talk for like 2 weeks for no reason. It just happened. So then whenever you're like, you know what, I kind of want to do this. I told her like, I kind of want to do this. She came to my house. And she told me, she was like, hey, well, we can do this. I'm just letting you know that, last week I was with somebody. And I was like, what sucks is that I was with people too. But to me, it was kind of like I felt like, well, if you were going to do that, then you're going to do some shit whenever we're together. Like, it's almost like a PTSD type of thing. Like, you're just like, well, this shit's going to happen. So, shit, if this happened and we weren't even together yet, you're going to do some shit. Meanwhile,
Well, at
I
least she
was
was
doing
honest.
shit. I know but that's what I'm saying. Like, later on, like, whenever it started getting logical, you're like, well, at least she was honest. But then, as a man, you start thinking of another man on top of your girl or that girl, and you're just like, fucking gross. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a man, when you start thinking about these things, you're like, I just don't know if I can do that. It's almost like it was cheating. So, like I said, I really liked her. It probably was something that would have ended up in next level, but because of that situation. So, what is the line? I guess we're both asking the question and don't really know, like, where is the line of, like, this is cheating and this is not cheating? Do you know what I mean? Like, like, we're not kids anymore. I'm not giving you a promise ring. You know what I mean? Like, so what is it,
Yeah. No, I get it. Because, like, when I went into this kind of whatever thing I'm in right now, whatever you want to call it, like, the guy that I was talking to, we were just friends. We weren't going to plan to be together or anything because he was looking for, like, the stuff that I had looked for before, like just like no relationship. He was not interested in a relationship.
Kind of like friends with benefits kind of type of deal.
Yeah, that's all he wanted.
And that, I don't know if it was during an episode or if it was just our conversation that we had. I told you, I think the problem with people nowadays is that we don't talk anymore. Like, I think it's always better to know what you want up front, but also know that people change. So like you said, he wanted to just be this, and then he realized, you know what? She's actually somebody that I want to be with. So like, I think the problem is that we don't communicate as adults. You know what I mean? We don't communicate anymore. So I feel like if you say like, hey, this is what I want, but at the same time, like, let's say he said he wanted to be that, and then later on he's like, damn, I really want to. No, you're just like, no, because if it was me, that as you, I would have been like, no, like, you said you didn't want to do this, and now you want to do it.
That's what I did.
Oh, okay.
I did do that. And so that led to the beginning of our issues, to be honest. Because he was like, no, I'm telling you what I want, and you can't tell me what I want because you're not me. You can't assume, you can't tell me what I want because what I wanted changed, and he was just like straight up telling me like you can't assume anymore. I already told you what I wanted, and this is what I want, and then that's it. Like, so don't tell me that's what I wanted, because sometimes I still go back to the beginning and be like, well, you just wanted to fuck or something like that, And then he'll be like, yeah, before. But he's like, after I talked to you, after we fucked everything, like that first time, like I wanted it to be more.
You toxic as fuck. I could see it in your eyes. Like, like the things you said the way you said it to me was a whole lot nicer than you said it to him. Now, so that's what I'm saying. So like, if they sat there and you made him ask, and then y'all together, so like you're together now. So like, I guess that's whenever it would start, like the whole like, hey, this is cheating or not cheating. But then at the same time, it's like after it was asked, like, did they change? Did things different, or like how did that work? Like, because that I guess that's what it is. It's kind of like whenever I start thinking about this, I'm like, okay, if I start talking to somebody, they ask me, okay, and then I actually don't fucking see them for like, I don't see this girl for another 2 weeks or a week. I'm like, are we together? Yeah, she asked, but shit, she gone. Where the fuck is she at? Shit, motherfucker got needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's a situation that I'm in where I'm trying to like see, because I've been kind of dry to him lately because he was kind of dry to me because I had just broke up with him like a week ago.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like what is like a breakup where it's like it's really not. I can't really say it's cheating, because what is cheating? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I was kind of sad because I was just like, this dude is not like seeing me all the time, but he's really busy. He has a really demanding job. And like, I just like needed attention, I think. And then I was just like, I just don't want to see you anymore. I just need someone who has more time. You're right. Like when you told me in the beginning, like you didn't want a relationship because of your job and all this stuff. And he's like, no, I can see you. And then I was just like, no, just don't talk to me anymore. And then I was just like, okay, it's over. And then like in the middle of the night, I was like, I miss you.
toxic. Toxic.
But I was married for so long that I just don't even know like how I feel about anything anymore. Like I was married for 10 years. I was with my ex for like 12. So I just don't even know like.
You were used to that companionship. So that I feel like that's what I'm saying. Me being single, I've been single for a long time now. So it's been over 5 years now. But I mean, it's not because nobody wants me. It's because people that
you want to be
they don't want me, or the other way around. It's just like, I don't know. I self-sabotage a lot of shit. So like a lot of things that I can probably have, it's like I'm just like shit. I start thinking like the weirdest shit. But one of the
people
things that
literally
I do,
tell me like you're self-sabotaging your like whole like what's it called, love life.
yeah, because you start thinking that you're not good enough, or that it's too good to be true. So you start doing things to like, oh fuck, this motherfucker just want to be here for this. You know what I'm saying? That's what with that girl. That's what I'm saying. Like in my mind, I'm just like the reason why we did the situationship was because my PTSD of trust issues, with thinking that she was just wanted to be with me because when I was the one that pursued her. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even pursue women, but even though that happened, I'm just like, somewhere there's this little fucking devil in the back of my head, like, oh no, she's using you for what? Like she has never asked me for money, never asked me for, you know what I mean? But you start doing that. So, but like being single so long and doing that shit, like I know what you're saying, because like I do miss the like intimacy, and not just sex. I mean, yes, sex, but not just sex. I mean, I'm talking about touch, like watching a movie while somebody's caressing you or just rubbing your leg or whatever, like just that intimacy of touch, of just like that. I miss that. So I understand what you mean. So because I, as a man, like I can withstand not doing it for so long. So as a woman, I can understand that, like, you're like, fuck man, it's been so long and this is what I want and he's not giving it to me.
Yeah, and so that's exactly what I was going through. Like where I was just like, okay, I think it's just, well, it's sex too, but like like it's the whole thing. It's like everything, like, because that's how we started to be like intimate. We weren't just like, which was odd because I thought we were just gonna have sex and be done, but like it wasn't like that. It was just like us like hold hands, or like little stuff like hugging or whatever.
Scorpio? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got that fiery passion, and I know it. Like you just like toxic as fuck.
I don't try to be though. I'm like, at least I'm honest with people. I'm like straight up,
But yeah, I feel you. And that's what's like. So I guess to answer the question is just kind of like, because like I guess I can't answer the question because it's like, to me, it's like whenever you're living together and all that shit, like that's cheating.
That's
but like
cheating.
that's cheating. But like now that we're older, it's because like now that we're older, things move a whole lot faster. Like when we were kids, you could talk for 6 months, be girlfriend and boyfriend for 12. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we've been together for 2 years and never fuck no. Now we're older. We're fucking grown. Like I know that I want to be with you, and within a couple months, I know if I'm gonna want to fucking move in with you or I'm not gonna want to move in with you. Do you know what I mean? Not that it has to happen in those months, but I know in those months that I'm gonna want to. Do you know what I mean?
That brings me. Sorry.
Yeah.
That brings me to my next question that I had for you. Actually, was like, when as a man do you decide like, hey, I like this girl enough where I want things to progress, like I could see a future with her. It doesn't,
Never.
like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to move in tomorrow. It means like in the next couple of years you'll probably move in together, or start a life together.
Never.
No, but
That's just no. I know. No, it's a hard question to answer because but as a man, that I don't know. Like I feel like I'm different than other men because there's some men that they know exactly what they want. They know exactly what they want out of the woman. They already like to me, like it has to come. Like I don't know this whole like moving in shit together, but I guess once you start going into dates, it's the little things. Like I can tell you that guy that he just wanted to have sex with you, the little things you did while you were there, like just the little things was like, man, like she really did that shit for me. Maybe I want more than that now. And then from there on it goes, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, there's not an actual like time. It just happens from like, I feel like most men do that shit. Like if you just started cooking for him right now, like if you just was like let's say y'all hung out tomorrow night and he just was like, hey, I just want you to come over for a movie and that's it. No, but you get there and you start cooking and you start doing shit that he didn't like, you start folding his fucking laundry for no fucking reason. Like once you start doing the domestic shit, it's kind of like, I really didn't want her to do that, but I kind of like it. You know what I mean? Like as a man, we're embarrassed anyways because we're like, fuck, that fucking laundry should have been fucking folded, but it's not. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, why do you have this and why do you have that? And so it turns on a light like, damn, she really cares about what the fuck is going on in my house. Like, you know what I mean? Like she really, she really cares. You know what I mean? So that's whenever it starts going through your head and it starts clicking. Like, damn, like okay, maybe this is one that I really need to stick around. But then again, I don't date, so
like if you were dating someone, like would you know kind of like in the first month, the second, third? What do you think?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't think there's a timeline.
There's no timeline.
There's no timeline because that's what I'm saying. Like if honestly, like, and because like sometimes it can be too pushy. Sometimes it's like, we just fucking right now. What the fuck you fucking
right?
You're already inviting yourself to those places and like, well, calm down, whoa, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I guess it's just like a slow. So I mean that's what I'm saying. I feel like within the first 3-4 meetups, regardless what the meetups are for, you kind of know because you start putting everything together. Like you met up. There's a couple of things you have to do. You have to see how they eat. That's usually the first thing y'all do whenever you go on a date. You eat or you drink something. You also got to see how they well first I mean how they fuck. Like, do you like it? Are they the same type of freaky as you? Do you think you can work with it? You know that. Then there's also like how does she act when she was drunk? Whenever she was drinking, was she crazy? Was she like, you know what I mean? Like it brought up some other things. And then you also start picking up on habits. Damn, she's done this or that. Damn, I didn't know she liked drugs like that. Like, you know what I mean? Just different things that you didn't know that you're like, oh shit, this girl's pretty, and then I didn't know she did this shit, or the other way around. Like, hey, you know. So like, I just feel like it sucks to put a timeline on it because I've never been married, so. And I was actually, with somebody for years and years and years, and we're not gonna go into that. But I just feel like you should know. I feel like you should know within a couple months whether. Now I'm not gonna say the full marriage thing, but the full hey, hey. Especially now that we have kids and stuff, like I guess that's the hard part. It's like, when do they meet my kids? But if they do, like, you see how they act with their own kids or with, you know what I'm saying? So it's just every little thing you put together, you're like, okay, this person is like one that I would want to, you know, and you start slowly having that conversation. But like, I feel like sometimes like women being more, I don't want to say aggressive, but more forward of like, hey, damn, she's folding my laundry, she's just doing this. And now all of a sudden she's asking me like, hey, do you think we could, put these together? And then all of a sudden it's like, y'all are doing things and it kind of just like starts progressing. Because I feel like if a woman, even though the man is the one that's more dominant, like I feel like if a woman doesn't like kind of get the wheels turning, we ain't gonna turn it. At our age, younger is different. Younger, like, yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna grab the woman. But now that we're older and we're single, I feel like a woman kind of has to push the wheels a little bit too, because then we're not gonna think that they want anything if you're not gonna push the wheel too. So
yeah.
What about you though? Like when do y'all know?
I'm different from most females, so it's really hard to like judge it off of me, and especially whereas like if I don't think I'm ready for a relationship, I won't let myself like do that regardless of how I feel about someone. There's some guys that I dated that I really liked. I liked them a lot, but I just wasn't ready. So I just was like not trying to get in a relationship, you know? And then with this one, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna go over, it's gonna just have sex because I don't have a friends with benefits anymore. So because I got rid of the last one. And then he was a little too young, that's why. He's still my friend, but he was just a little too young. But yeah.
He wouldn't be your friend. He wouldn't be your friend if I knew if we were together. And he wouldn't be your friend no more.
Yeah, I know.
See, but that's the thing is that like I'm like both. So this show that we're doing right now is called "Why Are We Like This Now?" Because of the shit that we've gone through and what we've been through life, and so that's the reason why. So that's why, like, you say, "Oh, I'm different." No, we're different. We're all different now because of, like, it's hard to answer, like, general now because now that we're older and we've gone through our own shit. It's just like it's different. Like you have your own like tics. I have my own tics. Like me, like I've never been the jealous type, but now like so I've been some shit. Like I feel like the next girl that I know, like. I feel like I know that I'm going to want her, that it might get a little bit more kind of like, hey, this is mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's my problem is that I never felt like this is mine right now. You know what I mean? And so, like, when I find the this is mine, like, you ain't fucking with this one. This one right here, you ain't fucking with, you know?
Okay, so that's what I'm going through right now. But, okay, to answer your first question before I forget, I think, well, first we have to have sex. And then two, because if the sex isn't good, I'm not going to do it again. I can't go in a relationship and have. And
I'm just saying this. When she says sex, she means the full, not just the whole like how big the rod is. I didn't even ask her. We haven't talked about this. She's talking about the full, like, hey, how's the foreplay? How's all that shit? But
yes, because that's super important to me.
I knew it. All right. So, all right, keep going.
Yeah. So the whole like sex scene thing, whatever, and then like, can he keep up with me? Is he cool with the way that I am? Because I'm not like a normal woman. I'm very sarcastic. My sense of humor is like off the chain. It's like I'm different. So he has to be okay with the way that I talk and the way that I am, you know? Because I might say some crazy ass shit, but like, are you okay with that? Can you keep up with me, you know? And he does. He's the first one who's ever, other than you, other than you, he's like he's the second person who's ever been able to keep up with me, you know, as far as that goes, you know, and doesn't get offended and all freaked out because I said something to him and, you know, whatever.
Yeah, because I feel like, I mean, as me spitting jokes, you can't fucking take everything so fucking seriously. We gotta laugh. You gotta laugh in life. I'm gonna die laughing like the Joker shit. That's the way it is. But no, I that's what, and so that's why I say like, whenever I'm saying it, I feel like I'm saying like, oh, are we compatible? Is she gonna do this? Is she gonna do that? But I guess it's got to be the other way around too. Like, and I think that's the thing is that we do is that like, I think sometimes we start thinking about like, am I doing this enough for her? Because if like you're pretty, like if you're a pretty girl, like you're like, fuck, bro, like, what do I gotta do to like? And I think that's how sometimes people fuck up is like, hey, what do I got to do to try to impress this person? No, no, you got to be yourself. Because if they're not gonna like you for who the fuck you are at that time, then it's just not gonna work. Because then you got to fucking play this role of some motherfucker you ain't. You know what I mean? And so like now you're playing this fucking role, and now fucking 6 months down the line, you're not that person anymore, and you don't laugh at these jokes anymore, or you get married and those fucking stupid jokes you used to laugh at, they're not funny anymore. It's just not gonna work, and that's the reason why I think relationships don't work, is because people are not themselves, and they try to impress the other person, or they try to act like what the other person wants. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and that's what happened a lot in my marriage and why it failed. Because it was just so like I stayed the same, but the person that I was married to didn't. And it caused us to just butt heads too much. And it just wasn't like we just weren't happy anymore, you know? And that happens. Like you said, people change and it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. I mean, it's bad that the relationship's over, but it doesn't mean that we're bad people. It's just how we grow and how we change. And if you can't change with the person or accept their change, then it's pretty much doomed, you know. And so that's why I'm not gonna get married again. No, I'm kidding. No, but I don't know. I just want someone that I'm gonna have fun with, you know, and I just don't want to like deal with like, am I being too much? Is he being too sensitive? Like, what is going on? You know, I just don't feel like dealing with that again. So
yeah, you got to find that. That's why I say I hate to say it like that, because maybe that's what love is, but I don't believe in love. But it's not because I don't believe in love, because like I've always thought. I still think at my old age, thinking that one day I'm gonna find this person that, you know what I'm saying, but like I think the biggest thing is finding compatibility, and you got to be compatible, because if you're not, then it's just not gonna work. And yes, opposites do attract, and they do, because like they'll fit like a fucking puzzle. But at the same time, sometimes the same is the same, and it fucking works as well too. So it really just depends.
yeah,
So like you're
even
married,
us, the way that we are, we're like
right?
super. I would say like compatible toward each other because like, and that's why we're
Which is
best friends because we're
That's
like
why
the
we
same
started.
person.
That's why we started the show, is because we knew that like I knew that you weren't gonna hide anything to talk about the same way I wasn't gonna hide anything, because we're gonna fucking say it. So that's the reason why. Yeah. I mean, your marriage didn't fail because you was fucking an athlete, right?
Oh no, I mean he was fucking other people, but not an athlete.
I only say that because I want to go to our sports segment, which there's not a whole lot of sports to talk about, but I just wanted to see this and we can react to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, yo, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you've been fucking my wife, bro. What you gotta say for yourself?
I'm sorry.
You're sorry? You fucking knew she was married. You're not a fucking idiot, man. You're fucking Steve Smith Sr. What kind of dumb shit was that? Why are you quiet, man? Be a fucking man. Steve.
Steve.
Answer.
You ain't a fucking man, bro. All that shit you do on fucking TV, all that shit talking you do to other people. Now someone's got you on the fucking phone, you can't even fucking man up.
I thought he was gonna hang up way before.
I know, and I don't know why he didn't. If he was just gonna be quiet, like
Maybe he's trying to.
have you ever been on that side of the phone? Like you're just like fuck, because like on one hand you want to talk shit to this motherfucker, like who the fuck you calling me, motherfucker? Like I'd be like, hey, who the fuck you think you call? But then at the same time, if you kind of care for the girl that you've been fucking, like you don't want to fuck up her thing, so you don't want to say the
Yeah.
wrong thing.
Yeah.
So let me just read you these text messages. We'll post them, but like I mean, she texts, yes sir. He says, take me down your throat. like you kind of like. You wanted to suck me off. She said, I did. I would have gagged on it, but I had to come home. He said, you enjoyed it. You like to feel it. She said, I like feeling it deep in my wet pussy. He said, me too. Letting you taste it, though, would be a turn on. I would have shot my nut all inside your pussy. And she said, I love making you come. I enjoy it more than you come inside me. He said, noted. You get to feel it. Oh, shit. And then, like, it's just funny the little pictures that he sends. Like they're in a relation, like they're kind of talking and they're not like talking. You know how that is whenever you're first talking to somebody and you have that like lust for them, like you're just like wanting to like
clarity and lust and all of it.
So what do you think of the situation, like as a whole first?
Well, let's talk about the call first. So I feel like he was like being like kind of a bitch about it because he wasn't like straight up saying, you know, like...
Wait, who was the bitch? Steve was the bitch, or the dude that called was the bitch?
Because he just said, oh, I'm sorry, and then it's like the phone went dead, and then he eventually hung up, but it's like he had like a bunch of time to say anything, you know? He could say anything.
Okay, and for those that don't know, what this is Steve Smith Sr. He's a former football player. He now works for one of the, I think, NFL Network now. And this lady... She was a band, which I didn't even know they had fucking band members in NFL. I thought it was just college and high school, but she was a band member for the Baltimore Ravens, and I guess he's been fucking her on the side while this dude didn't. I don't know. What's even more wild? We got to check the timeline because they have like he's already taken pictures with her. Like for Christmas, he had whole fucking like a photo shoot and shit. But anyways, I don't think Steve was being... I think that dude was being a bitch. Honestly, as a dude, I ain't checking no other dude unless I knew you. Unless like we were friends or we're acquaintances and you knew my wife and you knew we were together and shit, you knew that shit. That's grounds for ass whipping. I'm gonna beat your ass. But if you're just some dude that just... I'm checking my woman. She not my woman no more, but I'm checking the girl. He need to check her before you check him. You know what I mean? Like, what is he gonna do?
We don't know if he did that. We don't know if she like straight said
something. What was Steve? Okay, let's just say Steve wasn't being the quote unquote bitch. Like, let's just say, I was fucking your woman. What was he gonna do? Who cares? You know what I'm saying? I was fucking your woman. You know what I'm saying? I was fucking your woman. And the whole thing too. Like, I don't know if you saw this, but you didn't see this though, huh? This was the first time you saw it. He tagged Antonio Brown. You know Antonio Brown crazy. Like, what was the point? What was the point in fucking tagging Antonio Brown for? Like, I just don't understand. Like, I think he wanted this to get bigger. I think he wanted to know, like, when you catch a woman cheating, you want everybody to know she's a slut. I'm like, the whole world gonna know you a motherfucking slut. And I think that's what goes through men's minds. That he was like, if I tag Antonio Brown gonna fucking blow this shit up. You know what I mean? But as a man, tell me this. If it was you and this happened, tell me this won't hurt worse. I can go with you, I can talk shit to you, I can talk shit to him. But how about I go to him and be like, hey, dog, I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me know what type of woman she was. Getting her off my hands for me. Yeah. That's not more player? That's not more player? Shit. You gonna feel bad because you're like, God damn, like, this motherfucker didn't care. Like, oh, so what? Shit.
In this situation, that's not what he wanted. He wanted to embarrass someone that he knew had a name for himself. So that's what he was doing because he's hurt. Because he's like, that's my wife, you know, he's cheating with her, whatever. So he was like, I'm going to embarrass the shit out of him if I can. I mean, it doesn't really seem like Steve cares too much. He just said, I'm sorry, and that was it.
Yeah, because like I said, to me it sounded like Steve. To me, it sounded like Steve wanted to be a good dude and not say shit because it's like, man, I don't want to fuck up. Because if you know Steve Smith's gonna talk some shit.
That's what he said in the phone call too. But if you know him from TV, you know that he just says what's on his mind. But in the phone call, he expected him to say some shit, but Steve shut his mouth because he just wanted it to be like.
I guess the other part of it that I didn't. That's what I had to look up was Steve Smith is actually married too. So
I thought he was too, but I was like,
so
maybe
yeah, that's why I just looked it up. He is. So I guess that's why he's another reason why he's quiet. He trying to do this whole thing. Like the whole shit's a mess. I honestly, but like I'm saying, I probably, even on some bitch shit, on some player shit, I might call his wife and be like, hey, bro, like, I just want to let you know, like, hey, this is what's fucking going on. Shit, on the cool. As a player, I might try to see if I could get with your wife, but I mean that's not gonna happen. But I'm saying like I'm trying to fuck some shit. I guess that's what he's trying to do. He was trying to fuck his shit up, is what he was trying to do. But I think he just went about it exactly. But honestly, to me, he seemed more like a bitch than Steve was. Steve was just like fuck, because Steve knows. Steve been doing PR here for a long time. Like he had somebody doing PR his whole life, so he knew not to say fucking anything, because he knows that if he says some shit, he gonna get into some shit.
I mean, I guess, yeah, if you look at it like that, I wasn't thinking about it like that. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like just the phone dead. Like, I would have just hang up, But me, I'm not the type of person to go after someone's, like, the person they're cheating with. Like, let's say, like, my ex, when he cheated, I found out who the girl was. I didn't go after her. I didn't say anything to her. She knew he had a wife. She had a boyfriend that she was serious about. They were living together. I could have destroyed all that, but I just was like, you know what? Why bother?
Right. And I'm with you, and that's why I said like the only reason why I would do, because like let's say you found out who he was cheating with, and it was one of your friends. You're fucking her up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. It's like I thought that maybe that's what this whole situation was. Maybe he knew. Maybe they were all friends, but they wasn't. He didn't know him. Like. How did you even get that number? I'm going to have to blur that shit out, too, because I don't even know. I'm about to call Steve Smith right now. He probably already changed it by now. Because he just blasted his fucking number, too. Like, he blasted his number on fucking, like, that's wild, man. That's fucking wild. That's what I'm saying. Like, but I've been there. I know that feeling.
Maybe he was just running out of his feelings. He was hurt. He was going through it. Like,
you just don't think about everybody. The whole fucking world can crash down, bitch. Like, I don't give a fuck you and fuck that motherfucker. The whole world. Fuck him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fuck. I get it.
It's like the first couple of days you feel like that, but then like when you don't, if you don't act like me, I didn't act on it. I freaked out on him, but like I didn't act on it in other ways. Right. I just let myself calm down, and then after that, I was just like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm over this. Yeah. Yeah,
that's why. I think you anytime you do something, I think like I always tell my kids, give it the 72-hour rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you feel like if you still feel this way in 3 days, then let's see what we can do. Exactly. Like you have because like when you start thinking out of anger, that's the whole thing. I think that's what fucks up a lot of things. Yeah. Emotion and anger. Like once you start running off of emotion, off of shit, like oh, this motherfucker just fucked me up, and just oh no, like you start doing things like that's how people go to jail, because like if they was caught in the act, he would did something fucking crazy, and that's how people go to jail, is because you're just running off of rage. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. But
that's why I really don't have like a piece on them. They go ahead and like kill the person right away, because they're catching them in the act. They're acting on emotion, and it doesn't mean it's okay, but it's just like it's one of those things, that you just gotta, like you said, you just gotta wait. Like, I think it actually took, like, a few days for me to, like, process that everything's going to be okay.
I've been there, though. That's fine. I'm gritting my teeth right now thinking about it. I remember kicking over a fucking laundry basket and fucking, I wanted to choke the shit out this bitch. I'm like, motherfucking, like, like you were, and I don't even know if they was cheating. I just know that rage I was feeling at that time.
Yeah.
But to find out that it was actually cheating, I'm like, okay, I get it. But, I mean, how did you even get... No, I was going to say how you get his number, but you got it right out of her phone. All those text messages that were placed on there, like... Yeah. Dang, to put all that shit on blast, though, like, to put on... But that's another thing. As a man, this is the mother of your kids. You know what I mean? Like...
Well, that's another thing.
I think, like, no matter how I feel about the mother of my kids, no matter if she's a good person or a bad person, like... and we get along, everything's cool. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if, I'm never going to talk shit about my baby mama to my kids, ever. No matter the worst shit ever fucking, no. I don't want that shit. Because you start fucking with your kids' heads, and then like, fuck. So now, his kids are watching this, his kids are like, damn, like, shit. Like, they don't understand yet, like, you know, human fucking nature and shit that's happening. And now all of a sudden, like, now they got to feel like they got to choose a side. Like, it's just like, damn, like, no, like, yeah. I think you got to have that conversation. I think you got to have the conversation with your kids before, like, hey, look, this is what's about to happen, or, you know, like, or you talk to her about it, like, hey, you're gonna be the one to fucking tell the kids. We can fucking whatever, but you're gonna have to tell the kids what you did, and the reason
That's
why
what
we're
I
not
did.
together.
So that's what I did. My daughter was at a school dance, and my son was home. I found out like on accident because I don't snoop. So I found out on accident, and then I called my ex, and I was like freaking out on the phone. I did go upstairs in my room, but obviously because my son heard me yelling, he went upstairs and he overheard our conversation. And then, like, it was just crazy. And I told him, like, your dad's going to explain it later. And then I told him, like, you're going to tell the kids what you did and da 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 da. And he did. He told them.
Yeah, and I don't know. You don't have to get into detail, but I think you tell them like, look, hey, you know,
Yeah.
when you're adult, you'll understand that like sometimes things change and feelings change, and even if it's the nicest way possible. But that's what the fucked up thing about it is, that you don't think all that's going through this motherfucker's head is that like, hey, I want to fucking rip her ass apart, and I want to rip motherfucking. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of motherfuckers that would be like, man, fuck him and fuck her and fuck, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just don't think he was fucking. I wouldn't have called Steve Smith Sr. Or I might have said that, hey, like, bro, like, hey, like I said, I would have chopped it up, had a conversation. I would have been like, hey, you fucking my wife and trying to. Nowadays, everybody's about clicks and fucking, like, well, I guess we wouldn't be talking about this if it wasn't for him doing that. But at the same time, it's like, bro, like, sometimes not everything is worth fucking clicks and fucking chatter, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, it wasn't, but I don't think it was all that. Honestly, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate on that. I think it wasn't just clicks. I think it was him trying to embarrass him trying to like ruin his image, you know.
so why tag Antonio Brown?
I don't know about that. That part,
weird.
I don't understand how that correlates with the whole situation. But
goddamn, it's funny as fuck though. It's funny from the outside looking in, because it's just like, bro, like
yeah, it's just
because it's like it's crazy how like shit happens to even fucking celebrities, and like
it's like everyday stuff, you know. Normal shit that happens to us happens to them too. I wasn't even looking. Yeah. Yeah, I saw her picture earlier.
That's funny as hell.
That's
funny as hell. But I guess it's one of those things that like it's human nature. Things happen. But
I mean, this shit happens. Like, and that's what people don't think about, because they think like, oh, like you're rich and famous or whatever you have, like this shit doesn't happen to you, but it does. Like, people act on emotion, people cheat, people do all this stuff. It's just not always in the limelight, you know. But because this one is,
what a cheating
and
ass
the person
fucking.
is well known.
Yeah, cheaters never fucking prosper. All right, let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
I don't fucking cheat.
Yeah.
I don't cheat.
No, me either. I'm super loyal.
Well, I've officially seen it all. My first 0 out of 10 date. This man left me at the restaurant while I was in the bathroom. I think I'm going to hang it up for a while. Yep. I don't have anything left to give. But if I'm honest, I never should have gone on the date in the first place. Everything was telling me not to. Everything. The signs were there, but I was like, I'll give him a chance. Nope. Follow your guts. Everything was going fine. This guy and I had been talking for like 3 or 4 days. He asked me out to dinner for this weekend, today. Chose a cute little Cuban spot, made the plans, we figured out the time, all that jazz. He doesn't live here in Charlotte. It was about an hour and a half outside of Charlotte, so he drove in and got a hotel for the night. Where the problem started is he texted me this. I read that and I was like, oh, absolutely not. So I responded with this. And ever since that point, the vibes just turned in our conversation. But it was the day of the date, within like a few hours of it. So I had the decision to make of like, do I cancel this because it's kind of going left, or do I just go? He was apologetic because I guess he felt like I misunderstood what he was saying, but I personally feel like I knew exactly what he was saying. He thought this was going to be something that it wasn't. So he shows up, Hollister hoodie, jeans, no reservation, barely speaks on the date. It's so awkward. I'm so uncomfortable for the entire thing. I just order my food, quickly eat a little bit of it, put it in a to-go box. We barely speak for the majority of the dinner. Barely. We just watch the live music. Then I decide to go to the bathroom, and when I come back, I'm going to ask him if he's ready to go. By the time I go and come back, I'm in the bathroom for maybe 2 minutes. I come back, he's gone. Vanished. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Granted, the date was over. He had already paid for the check. But I just think this is like, it's really something. Like, he could not even say, like, hey, I think I'm going to call it a night. Thanks so much for your time. Not even that. Because I called him on his bullshit. I called him on his bullshit. And he had a bad attitude. Men. Oh, and the most embarrassing part wasn't even this guy leaving. It was the walk of shame out of the restaurant with the waitresses saying, Lo siento.
Bitches like that gonna be single forever. Anyways, go ahead.
So there's so much wrong with everything that happened from the beginning to the end. Like, I don't know, like, when he said that to her and she wasn't interested in that, that already should have been like, no, I'm not going to date him. I'm not going to go on a date with him.
Why do you gotta be a boring bitch? Why do you gotta be a boring bitch? And I'm not saying that you gotta fuck on any type of date. Okay, look. First of all, you started off. I fucking hate when women say, I knew when I had this. No, you didn't fucking know. Because if you knew, then you would have went on the fucking date. So don't be like, oh, I kind of had a fucking feel. No, you didn't fucking know.
That's why I said, if she felt that way and she wrote that text, she should have just not went.
I know. Because you could have a little, like, you could have a little hunch, but like, kind of like we were talking about earlier, where like it's like you have like you thought you were just gonna have a feeling, and then later on you have the feeling, but you give it a chance. You don't just But that's what I'm saying is like the fucking text messages. He's like, hey, I got a hotel. Do you want to come stay with me? And she's like, all right. Why the fuck did you even invite him? You the boring ass bitch, for real.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, I feel like she blamed like the whole thing on him, and to me that's kind of fucked up because like at the same, not kind of, really fucked up because at the same time you were on the date too. So you couldn't talk, like, so you couldn't make yourself interesting to him at all. Like maybe he would have changed his mind. Maybe he would have thought like, oh, even though she's not going to give it up right now, like she's turning me around. Like that's what happened with me. I turned the person around that wasn't interested in relationship into wanting a relationship, but not on purpose. I just was myself, and then he ended up wanting me for more than just the one night or just the friends with benefits. She could have done the same thing had she been interesting. But if you're just sitting there fucking listening to music and not being an interesting person, being a boring ass person, just because you're butthurt about the text or whatever, then it is what it is.
Let me just say this. She lucky he fucking paid. Because me, I'd have left that bitch a long time. I would have burnt out on the bitch. Would have blocked that shit. I'd have been gone. Cause like, what the fuck? Like, oh, yeah, I mean, the food didn't even look good. I understand all that shit, but it's like, oh, he came in a Hollister and our Hollister. Like, what the fuck did you expect? I just don't understand. Like, I guess these whole dates things is kind of like, if I invite you to a date and I say, hey, we're going to go to, some fancy restaurant. Mm-hmm. I'm going to dress fancy. Yeah. But if he called you and he fucking said, hey, we're going to go to this fucking Cuban fucking joint. Mm-hmm. If we're looking at that fucking food the way it was, the way the picture was, that's not a fancy ass. I don't wear Hollister, but I'm wearing my fucking hoodie and jeans too. Who gives a fuck? Like,
yeah. That was another thing that she insulted, the way he dressed. And I'm just like getting my head like, who the fuck is going to dress in a suit to a Cuban restaurant? I get it. Like some Cuban restaurants might be a little fancy, but like most are not. It's like a sandwich type deal or some kind of, like it might be nice on the inside, but it's not like a fancy, expensive restaurant. Like and
It's
if
it's
that's where
women
he
like
invited
that.
her,
It's
you have to
women
dress.
like that are the reason why I'm fucking single. Every time that like I think about women and I think about the shit, and I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. Like this is how I think of women. The way she acted, the way that's how the internet thinks. Like I guarantee you, she's the same. Has to make 100K. Has to be over 6 feet tall type of
Oh,
woman.
yeah,
But that's what I'm saying. Like her thought is just like non-realistic of how things are in the real fucking world. So it's like, oh yeah, I've been talking to him and I had a feeling that he didn't, and then he texted me and this, okay, and I mean, to her point, I mean, if I was the dude and I fucking text you that shit, I might not even go to this date. I'm like, fuck, bro. She made me come all the way to this fucking city that I don't fucking know.
an hour
Got
and a
me a
half.
hotel, and as I told you, as we talked about before, like the whole communication thing, he's opening up to the communication
Yeah.
of saying like, hey, let me see what I'm gonna expect later. Like, hey, do you think you want to fucking spend the night or whatever? And then in a nice way. It's not like he was like, hey, we fucking, because he didn't even say it that way. He was just like, hey, do you think you want to fucking shit? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's why
That's what I'm saying.
communication is important because there were times where people were looking for a relationship, and then I was just like, like I just became single not too long ago. I'm not looking for that, and I'm upfront with you. Like I just want like a friends with benefits for now. I'm just kind of like seeing how things go or whatever. And even this
But
last time, I went from that to like wanting a relationship. So then I told him straight up, like, because I didn't realize that I like swiped right on him, even though it didn't say that he wanted a relationship. It said that he wanted like all the other stuff, not relationship stuff. And then when he started talking to me, I straight up told him like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I think it was I accidentally swiped right on you because I thought you were cute, but I'm actually looking for a relationship, not just a friends with benefits anymore or anything. I just wanted to be honest with you." And he was just like, "No, it's cool. We can just talk or whatever." And I'm like, "Okay." So then we started like really hitting it off. And
motherfuckers,
then,
we ain't gonna admit it. Shit, a pretty girl just did this shit. I'm like, okay, it's okay.
but you can change people's mind if you're like an interesting person. And I think that's what
And
happened with us.
I
And
can see what you're
we
saying.
could
Yeah,
have done the same. Had she been more interesting, maybe he would have went past the fact that he wanted to have sex on the first night, and he could have been just like, okay, like I'll respect like
but that's
how
the reason
she.
why I say that. Like as me, like I'm so indecisive now because of all this bullshit. Because of women like that. Like I'm just like if I tell you, and I'm not even like, no, I'm just not saying you, but just as a person, like, hey, hey, do you want to go on a trail today, or just anything, or in future? So like I'll be like, hey, on Thursday, do you want to go on a trail? If Thursday gets here and you ain't said shit about it, I might not even fucking bring it up. I'm just gonna be like, fuck, man, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna fucking, you know what I'm saying? Because you ain't said shit, you don't seem like you're interested, and that's so, and because in my mind, you're just like this woman here, and that's what I'm saying. It's women like this that really have got me like thinking this way, because I'm like, and I really want to. I'm the type of person that I'm gonna look at it both ways. So like, I really want to give her the benefit of the doubt. I get it. I tell my daughters this all the time. Like, don't ever feel bad for having your morals and your stances.
Beliefs
Like,
and- yeah.
like yeah, you don't ever feel bad for fucking feeling the way you fucking feel. And so
Yeah.
like I'll give her that yeah. He talked about the hotel. In her mind, he was thinking he wanted to want to fuck. Okay, I get it. But like, then why go on the date if you already got this message and you were like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and cancel this now. Do you know what I'm saying? Let me just cancel this now because this is not what I'm gonna want to do. Because like, why go on the fucking date afterward? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. All I'm saying is that she
Yeah,
lucky he
because she
paid.
was already complaining like way too much. Like she saw red flags, and she decided, I'm gonna go anyway, and I'm gonna ignore all this shit. Well, not ignore it because she saw them, so she's disregarded whatever red flags she saw. And then she goes to the restaurant, and then she insults him on like talks about how he's dressed and all this bullshit. It's like, dude, like
That's what I'm saying. Like, are you insulting? Are you insulting because it didn't work out? Because, like, let's say he didn't leave you and all of a sudden he was the nicest gentleman ever. Like, later on, you can be like, hey, I know that he was in the Hollister hoodie and I know that I wanted more than this, but he was such a gentleman. And, like, you ain't going to complain about it. But now that it didn't work out, it's somebody else's fault. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't blame somebody else. Why the fuck you blaming somebody else? Like, you got to keep the, like I said, the communication. He kept the communication and she was still mad about it. And this is the reason why are we like this now? This is the reason why we like this is because other people fuck shit up. Other people fuck things up. And it's like, what are we going to do? You know what I mean? And now we're stuck in this whole fucking rotation of situationships. I even hate using that word. Situationships and relationships and fucking delusionships. Fucking
That's the new one.
the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, the fucking Christopher Columbus ships. And that's the reason why we are the way we are. So if you get anything out of this, keep the communication open. If you don't want to do something, don't fucking do it. Don't do it. And
Simple
as the man, if you're gonna fucking run out, hey, he did the noble thing and paid. I'm not gonna talk to you.
I know.
I don't even
That
blame
was
him. I'm
crazy.
just like,
Like that to me, that's gentleman-like. You fucking paid. He drove to her. Like, what do you expect? Like, you're not gonna give it up. That's what he wanted. It is what it is.
yeah, and that's what I mean. It's just like, what more did she want? You know what I mean?
I think she just wanted him to take control of the date. She wanted him to be doing everything. But it's like, he did all the stuff I feel like that he was supposed to. But she needs to come in there too and be interesting and not be a hater.
I just feel like, I don't know. I think so that a girl like that is gonna find some fucking wimpy ass dude, or is gonna be alone her whole life.
Yep.
And like I said, that's the reason why we are the way we are, why we like this now, which is the name of our podcast. And this will conclude this episode. Kayla, you got any plans for this next weekend or anything?
I think I'm going to keep it pretty low key. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, this is our episode here. Like I said, I am Marco, a.k.a. DeMarco, at DeMarco. This is Kayla, at Emerald_eyes_44. Fellas, if you're ever not going to be a loner, cover your boner. Stay safe out there. We got this. This is Why We Like This Now podcast. See ya.
Bye.
Why are we like this now? Gonna figure it out with a pow, pow, pow. DeMarco and Kayla taking the bow. Join us on the journey, we'll show you how.